Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show, Red Pill Edition, live from Indianapolis, Indiana. My name is Leon Jones. And this morning, just want to get into a topic that many people on YouTube aren't talking about. So if you're in the Red Pill and in the MGTOW community, you're going to understand everything that I'm saying. And I'm going to talk about this old succubus again and how this old succubus has empty nest syndrome. So the title of this morning's video is The Old Succubus is a Smothering Mother. The old succubus is a smothering mother. Now, where did I get the title Smothering Mother is a question that's going to be asked by people to me. I'm going to answer that right now. There is a TLC series called The Smothered Mother. And actually, I had a female subscriber, who told me about it. And I went and checked out the clips. And the clips are very appalling. But guys, the smothered mother, even when she's older, she's just as bad as dating a single mother with younger children. But here's the catch. It's even worse. Because the smothered mother, we used to call them helicopter moms, in the past, has got this extreme bond with her daughter and in some instances her son. Now, when I talk about reality shows, I plug the reality shows into what's really going on in the real world. Now, first of all, as a red pill man, I don't hate women. So any women who are watching my content, please miss me with that bullshit. Because I've never hated women. I am just calling you out for your fuckery. And I'm going to continue to call you out. Because you don't own the narrative to what we say here on our channels. And that's another plethora when it comes to this older woman out here. She has this matriarchal mindset. That's going to be videos in the future I'm going to do on her shaming tactics and her matriarchal mindset. But going back to the smothered mother. The situations that you see in this TV show are alive and well when it comes to the real world. And this is why kids who were raised by mothers never grow up. And these kids and these mothers form these crazy bonds where they're sleeping in the same bed together. In fact, I saw one clip to where the mother had her arm draped over her daughter in the same bed, just as a woman would have her arm draped over a man on his chest in the same bed. There are also clips to where the mother and daughter are sharing the same bath water. In other words, the mother got out of the bath water, and then the daughter got in the bath water. And then there was another clip that I saw where the mother and daughter married the same type of man. I believe it was a doctor. The mother and daughter go out with each other on dates. The mother and daughter dressed like twins. The mother and daughter both had plastic surgery. Now, again, some of you are going to ask me why I'm doing this type of video. I'm doing this type of video because you have a number of these women who are in the real world today, and they are wasting your time. This is why I say do not pedestalize women, because these women will not have your back. Their children will always come first. And this is a grown single mother who basically has two syndromes. She has empty nest syndrome and failure to launch syndrome. And this is why millennial kids haven't grown up. Because these mothers, instead of being mothers to their children, they allow their children to have power in the house. So that means if the mother was dating a man, that child would have say over it because the mother would allow it. These types of mothers allow their children to be on the same level as an adult. And when that happens, if you date that mother, you're dating another child. And this is why I say a number of women are children. They don't understand what the real world is. They live in a bubble of deception. Now, does this happen with the sons? You see it with a number of black women, where they treat their sons as the son was the man they wanted to date. Now, it doesn't happen as frequently, but it happens. Now, is something taking place? Under the microscope, it is. That's the Oedipus complex. But with these extreme bonds that these mothers have with their daughters, is a lesson that you guys need to understand. That child, when you date this mother, is always going to cock block you. See, the mother and the daughter are just like cackling hens. And the daughter is teaching the mother the same procedures when it comes to communicating with men. And that's texting. A lot of these smothered mothers are on Instagram just like their daughters. In fact, these mothers really envy their daughters, and these mothers really want to be their daughters. But these mothers have hit the wall. But these mothers still think they have options when it comes to dating. You're never going to have options dating when you got a tag along. And for the young daughter, if a young man tries to date that daughter, he's going to have the same problem. So when you deal with the smothered mother out here, you're dealing with an extremist. Someone who, again, has a psychological problem. Could be some insecurity issues going on. I know the biggest part of it is the empty nest syndrome, because a number of these mothers cannot live on their own. They've never lived on their own. And it used to be, before the divorce culture came into place, once the children grew up, it was always the husband and wife. Well, now you don't have that anymore due to feminism and Marxism. But when you are a man and you date any mother who is that extreme about their family, they say they love their family. No, that's basically codependency. You're going to see a lot of this on the online dating, where women always put in their profiles, my family is the most important thing in my life. My kids are my world. My kids are my life. When you see that, guys, you run as fast as you can and don't look back. You will be miserable. Now, I'm not saying that the woman's not a good woman. I just believe that she's too extreme to be out here dating, and she doesn't teach her daughter how to stay in her own lane, because the daughter and mom act like they're this friendly bond. There's nothing wrong with being friends with your family members, as long as your family members have their own place, which means they have their own life and they have their own family. You can do that. But nowadays, we're in a culture where women are raising their children not as children, but they're raising their children to be their friend. And when you do that, your children never grow up. Now, a number of these women have never grown up themselves because I can see the attitude, I can see the superficialness that the mothers in this TLC series had. And the bottom line, guys, when you are getting yourself involved with this mother, she's going to be narcissistic. She's going to shame you by telling you you do not understand what's going on. She's going to tell you that men come and go. Now, I'm talking about this old succubus here, because it's not the younger women doing this, it's the older women who are doing this. And again, I've always told you that a number of these older women are selfish. Now, again, it is not all older women, but it is enough of them for me to validate what I'm saying because I've seen it. Now, when it comes to dating, I do not urge any man out here to date single mothers, period. I don't urge men out here to date women who have grown children living at home. And better yet, I don't advise men to date women who have anyone living with them. That's male friends living with them as roommates. That's girlfriends living with them as roommates. Any of them. Because that restricts your privacy. Now, again, are these individuals bad? No. Now, the intent on what I'm presenting to this video, in this video, is the fact that as a man, you got to value yourself. And too many of us have allowed ourselves to be taken in by feminism, Marxism, by the immaturity of a number of these modern day women regardless, but older women are definitely immature. We've allowed ourselves to listen to the narrative. And when we have done that, we've gotten off of our focus. And when it comes to being a man, at the end of the day, we got to look at who we are. Now, when it comes to the smothering mother, you have to ask, where does this come from? I believe it comes from loneliness. I believe that a number of these women have had trouble being in relationships. Or they could have been in a long-term relationship where they were married, they got bored with the relationship, and they became a party girl. They became a party girl by utilizing their daughters and sometimes their sons, because a number of these older women, these smothering mothers, are listening to the same type of music as their children. Some of them are dressing like their children. But they have this so-called bond that is very, very extreme. I mean, it's to the point that it's almost ancestral. And you know incest is illegal. And some of these smothering mothers could have been child molesters themselves. And the reason why I'm saying that, because when you have this extreme bond to where you are sleeping with your grown daughter or even your grown son in the same bed, you gonna tell me nothing's taking place? Now, there's some extremes where there is something taking place. And some of these smothering mothers are psychotic in their ways. And when I say psychotic, they're doing this extreme bonding like it doesn't mean anything. Now, I'm not judging what people do, but I'm going to be critical. And my critical analysis of the smothering mother is that these are the individuals that are too dangerous to date. And as a man, if you invest your time into this smothering mother, you're not going to get an ROI, which is return on your investment. And I'm putting this out to young men as well. If you are in your 20s and you're looking for a woman, and this woman is still living at home, unless there's a catastrophe, because sometimes children have to go back home when they don't have anywhere else to go, like a divorce. They could have been in a car accident. They may have a small family. Those extremes. But if there's no extreme, and you're a man and you find that this daughter is living at home with her mama or even her dad, because believe it or not, now there is no show out there called The Smothering Father, but you have some of these fathers out here when it comes to their daughters as well, calling their daughters princesses. And in fact, if the father has a daughter and a son, guess what? This father is more hypergamous than the mother is in some circumstances, because the father is calling the daughter a princess. The father believes that the daughter can do no wrong. Now, what is happening in both cases is the mother and the father, but this video is the smothering mother, but the case is going to be the same. They're setting their daughter up for failure, because she's going to go out. Let's say if that bond breaks up. And when it comes to families, when the daughter starts to find her own way, that bond will break up. And that mother is going to be left struggling, because her only hope is that she can find a man that's going to deal with her. Because when a mother and daughter or a mother and son break up, let me tell you, that mother and that daughter are still going to be texting back and forth. That mother and daughter, they're still going to be telling each other their gossip when it comes to their relationships. Like I said, the smothering mother treats her daughter just like a girlfriend. That daughter's going to have an opinion about the man that the mother dates, and the mother's going to have an opinion about the man that the daughter dates. Bottom line, if you date any of these women, and these women can be found online. Now, again, going back to what I just said, when the mother dates, the daughter's going to have an opinion. And when the daughter dates, the mother's going to have an opinion. And I may have said that twice already, but when it comes to repetition, it's the mother or the skill of all teaching, says Brother David Carroll. But at the end of the day, dating is difficult enough in this gynocentric culture. But when you're dealing with mothers out here, now again, I'm not saying all mothers are bad, and I'm not saying I hate all older women either, because I don't. I'm not saying I hate women. What I am justifying is the behaviors. And those behaviors can make it very stressful for a well-intentioned man. And at the end of the day, and you have to think about this, guys, what is your vision? Because if you're going to have a partner in your life, that partner must follow your vision. But the smothering mother will not follow your vision. Because the smothering mother is still a child herself. She's a party girl. I'm going to do a video on party girls, older party girls. The smothering mother, she's proud to be a smothering mother. Again, she doesn't think there's anything wrong with this extreme bond with her daughter. And some of them don't think it's anything wrong with this extreme bond with the sons. But it is something wrong with it. It goes back to the failure to launch syndrome, or the empty nest syndrome. And behind the closed doors, the smothering mother is very selfish. She doesn't want her children to have a life, but she got a chance to have her life. And the smothering mother, here's another thing she does. Let's say if the daughter has a child of her own. Well, instead of being the grandmother, she's going to try to co-parent her daughter's children, which in essence is wrong. And this tells you right there. And you see a lot of this. I call it the grandmama syndrome. Because a number of these daughters are sending their children over to their mom's house to babysit. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it once in a while. But when it becomes a habit to where the grandmother is doing the duties that her daughter, who's a mom, should be doing, and you get involved with that older grandmother, you're wasting your time. Because her excuse is going to be, well, I got to do this with my granddaughter. Everything's going to be about her granddaughter. Now, again, it's nothing wrong with loving your family. But you have to listen to me on this. These so-called extreme bonds aren't what you think they are. They're not always done for loving reasons. They're done for selfish reasons. They're done for superficial reasons. Now, of course, when I talk about this TV show, it could be also done for ratings. But you have to look at the truth of the matter. This is actually going on in the real world. And a lot of us don't want to see it. This is why online dating, when it comes to men today, it's not good. Because you're going to be dating a lot of these types of mothers. Because here's another thing that the smothering mother allows to happen. If you get on a telephone and you're trying to get with that mother, who's the old succubus, there's going to be some impoliteness going on. It's going to sound like there's extra noise in the background. Because I know when you talk to some of these mothers from the ghetto, there's a lot of yelling and screaming going on back there as well. And they're constantly talking to their kids while they're on the phone with you. Well, the smothering mother is going to have her kid right there while you're talking to her. And the smothering mother, while that child is right there, she's talking to the child and allowing the child to ask her questions while she's on the phone with you. That's impoliteness. When you see that, guys, run for the hills. You make no more contact with that woman. Because she's already telling you right there that you're not valued. Now, again, let me reemphasize. I don't hate all older women. I don't hate all women, period. But this culture, this absolute impoliteness, this narcissism, this immaturity that this mother has when it comes to not allowing her children to grow up and allowing her children to run the household, that's what you got to look at. You're going to be with a very evil person. Because again, there's a time when you got to let your children grow up. Again, if it's an extreme emergency where your children got to come back because of a divorce, because they were injured in a way, that's one thing. But you got too many children living at home, grown children. And again, if you think dating a single mom who still has a baby daddy out there is bad, it's even worse when a woman you would think is older and she'd clean out her house, but you find out she has a grown child or grown children living at home. And even if she's allowing people to come live with her to help them out as roommates, you know, if they have a girlfriend move in, if they have a guy friend move in, you go over to that woman's house, you don't have the privacy you want. Now, I'm not saying the intentions that some of these mothers of helping their children, helping a girlfriend, when they're down, the intentions aren't bad. But when it becomes to be something that is extreme and it's going to affect you being in a relationship, as a man, you don't want to get involved with that individual until she cleans her house out, because it's going to be wasting your time. And the smothering mother is one who has all of these demands that you have to meet, but she doesn't have to meet your demands. This is this double standard going on when it comes to dating. And again, be aware, if you're dating these women online, you must check to see if they have this in their profile. I'm very family oriented. My kids are my world. My kids are my life. My family is the most important thing to me. Family is important. But it's how you are utilizing family. Because what you see now is just a bunch of women who haven't grown up. They're living under one house. And believe me, they're broke. And that house is always chaotic. And if you think about it, the smothering mother, she not only has grown children, a girlfriend, a guy friend, she may be the one that has a bunch of animals living in the house. And that house, no matter how peaceful it may look, is still chaotic. See, you have to understand that when you have privacy, you can do whatever you want. You can walk around in your birthday suit. You can be yourself. But when you got other people in your house, you really can't be yourself. Now, it might not be chaotic at first, but when one of these parties disagrees with one another, then you're going to see real chaos. See, they do a lot of these smothering mothers, they do a good job of hiding who they are. In fact, these smothering mothers live through their children. I mean, they think their children can do no wrong. Now, you have some of these fathers like that too, but I see it more with the mothers. And what these smothering mothers don't understand is that in the real world, we don't care about your children. Only you care about your children. Because, see, what the smothering mother has done is basically given her child, even though that child, whether she has a job or he has a job or a degree, you have put that child on the same level as you. But then you've also lowered yourself to that child because you're going to that child asking her about Instagram, Facebook. You're going to that child to teach you how to dress like her so you can get men just like your child. And you're also, as a smothering mother, You're very delusional. You think that you are the prize. And you think there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, as a man, if you see that a woman is in that extreme bond with a daughter and her son, don't date that woman. All hopes for a relationship are going to be out. Now, you could have a sexual relationship with that person. Now, if that's what you're looking for, that's the perfect person to date. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship, no, you're going to be miserable. Because she's going to believe men come and go. Well, men come and go out of our life because she doesn't care about having men. She only cares about that special bond with her grown daughter. Or she only cares about that special bond with the grown son. And being a man, a red pill man, that's part of women's nature. And part of their nature is the immaturity. Because a number of these older women teach these younger women how to be just like them. And that's why you guys are having problems dating out here. Because a number of these women are moms. You don't want to date moms, period. Whether they're grandmothers or moms. And I'm talking about moms who are still trying to raise their children. Even when their children are grown adults or hanging out with their children. Yeah, I love my mom, but I don't hang out with my mom like we're buddies. My mom is still my mom, and I respect her for being my mom. But as a man, you must understand, as a red pill man, understand the truth about women. Look at what's going on around you. And don't allow yourself to be shamed for having standards. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. You must have a vision on how you want to enjoy your life. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. If you like what I presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. Once again, my name is Leon Jones. God bless you. I'm out.